What is good? We're back. We got some rookie rankings for your pleasure. We got Dynasty Superflex tight end premium rookie ranks. This will probably be the second to last version of the rankings we do. We'll do it one more time, probably mid to late August, and then you'll be on your way to in season, right? So we're right in between camp starting, so might as well get these in. We've had a couple little nuggets that got you fired up or unfired up about some players here. So gonna toss some rankings your way. Chev, what's up, man?
You know me, brother. Any day on this side of the dirt's a good one.
That's right. That's right. And we're on this side of the dirt, so it is indeed a good one. All right. Tier 1, player 1, Ashton Denty for me. Tier break. What you got, big dog?
Yeah. That's pretty straightforward. It's a good start. So yes. Yeah. I've got Ashton Denty in a tier by himself. It's gross, but I have no choice but to respect it. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like, just right. It feels weird in a super flex to not have a quarterback in tier 1, but here we are. Strange times we live in.
Mm-hmm. All right, top of tier 2. And now I've since broken this tier up a little bit just to see how it feels. You know, just a tip, just for a second. Well, ouch, under my hair. Just to see. You know, I really feel generally after one that I feel pretty comfortable about most of the whole first round, and I don't really mind who I get, when, where, how. But we're gonna throw it out there. I got Cam Ward coming in at 2. And if you've been watching this show, you know I'm a big Kaleb Johnson guy. So I have him at 3. I got Omarion Hampton at 4. And I have Arroyo McMillan at 5. And then a tier break. And like I said before, I had, Travion, RJ, Quinshawn, all up in that tier as well. And for this version, I'm breaking them up just to see, again, how it feels here. So, again, I got Ward, Kaleb Johnson, Omarion Hampton, and Arroyo McMillan. Who you got in tier 2, Chev?
Well. I'm glad you asked. So I've got Cam Ward, Omarion Hampton, Arroyo McMillan, don't call him Tet, and Tyler Warren.
Ooh, big movement for Warren. I love this. I moved Warren up as well. I didn't quite have the cojones as you did here to move him up all the way as far as you did there. And I like it though. So why some Tyler Warren movement?
For one, I'm convinced that he's going to end up being one of the Omega level talents at the position. You saw him get the full-time role and what he did with it. And so there's a lot of uncertainty in that Colts passing game. And if you look around the league where there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a really athletic tight end, I really like the potential to break out. You heard me scream till I was blue in the face about Tucker Kraft. I mean, you see George Kittle. We've talked about him being one of the most crazy values in Dynasty. He's going in the 7th round. I can't pass that up. So I like this environment. I like the draft capital. I like the fact that he's like, there's just ambiguity. I mean, they've got a guy in Michael Pittman. They've got a guy in Josh Downs.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted A.D. Mitchell inside the top 60 picks. They've still got Alec Pierce, who led the league. So there's a whole lot of uncertainty.
Sure.
But I think the easy button in the offense, since they won't throw it to Jonathan Taylor. We know at this point they're not going to throw it to Jonathan Taylor. Maybe it's just not a Shane Steichen thing, but I feel like Tyler Warren is that easy button. He's going to be able to win on, Y option routes and just being able to get open in the middle of the field. They talked about he using some of his rushing prowess, so you could have a package of some sort with him and Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, both mobile options around the goal line, and Jonathan Taylor. Like, imagine that coming at you. Right. So yeah, I can create a lane for the versatility of Tyler Warren not only as a traditional inline tight end, but just being an excellent receiver. And so that's why I moved him up. I liked him a lot, and I like the uncertainty, and that's giving me the discount that I want for Tyler Warren.
Yeah. I was trying to find an over-under receptions for the year for Jonathan Taylor. Struck out at the moment. But I believe that they should throw to Jonathan Taylor more. But
Well, I mean, the weird thing is they did early in
Right.
his career,
Right.
but that was a different different coaching
Administration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to
No.
say, I was like, no, it was still Chris Ballard, but it wasn't the same coaching staff.
Right. There should be more easy buttons in this offense. I think Tyler Warren can be that easy button, whether it's Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. I think we came into this as saying like it's kind of a gross landing spot, and we might have to wait a minute, but it's Dynasty, and I'm with you, man. I agree that I think Tyler Warren is just that dude. I don't care about the age or any of those things. His breakout, yada yada, doesn't matter to me. He just he's one of those guys who just operates differently when he's on the field. That's a grown man out there. And I think the Colts are going to be able to take advantage of that. And it might be a little ugly this season. Doesn't mean you were wrong, just means you needed to wait. And I think you're going to see glimmers of what it is. But he also gives them somebody who's just this tough, physical, nasty. I mean, Pittman is a guy who isn't an alpha necessarily, and he's not necessarily like some crazy contested catch guy either, right? But Tyler Warren can kind of feed both of those things, give you an in the middle of the field, give you a red zone target. We know Michael Pittman struggled in that category, being like 4 to 5 touchdowns around the max for there. And Josh Downs doesn't seem like the player that would be your red zone guy. So Tyler Warren could have a bad year statistically, but still be close to double-digit touchdowns, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I mean, we've seen sharp scouting minds in the industry like Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks say that there's two types of tight ends that they kind of like to break prospects into, and he fits more of the mold. There's Travis Kelce mold, and there's the Rob Gronkowski mold. It would be ridiculous to say that any tight end has either one of their upside, because they're both going to be first ballot Hall of Famers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, his ability to win in contested catch situations, his ability to run after the catch, all of that just lends itself to him being a tremendous value. And we've got to stop. I know we say this every single year, draft the talent, not the landing spot. And now every single year we get into it and it's so gross. I just don't want to click the button. Bro, he's 6'6", he's 260, and he lines up all over the field, and they just wanted to figure out a way to get the ball in his hands. That usually translates at the next level. So
yeah, he's not. It's not like he's some slow stuck in the. Like, he accelerates really fast. He's got good speed. Like, he's super athletic. Like, he's not like some just like sloth out there. So exactly, I like it.
We'll be back with more FFD after a short commercial break. If you're as serious as we are about Dynasty, you gotta be playing on FFPC. They are now the proud home of over 2,000 Dynasty leagues, and not a single league has ever folded. Incredible. Drafts are kicking off every day, so go over to myffpc.com and take your game to the next level. New users get $25 off their first league using code FFD. Holler at your boys.
I like everything that we're going with. And in case you haven't been watching, I have Kaleb above Omarion. It's close. I like both of them a lot. I just like Kaleb Johnson's running style in comparison of Omarion Hampton's running style. I think they're both really good players. I think all these running backs in the first round right now that we're going to have that are going in the first round for the most part are all really good running backs and are going to help reestablish the running back culture in the league that we've been waiting for since, the 17 class. It's kind of happened sporadically here and there, but we've had a couple that kind of sputtered out. I think this one's really going to jumpstart the revitalization of the running back position, and they all went in spots that I really like. I just, Kaleb Johnson going to Pittsburgh, I really like. And, again, if you haven't been watching, like, Omarion Hampton to me runs in like straight, very angular lines, whereas Kaleb Johnson runs in a much more curvy, linear kind of movement that I just prefer on my eyes. And that's kind of why I have him above there. I think talent wise, they're pretty close to each other. And usage wise, I think Kaleb Johnson, frankly, year one might even out touch Omarion Hampton. No diddy.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Obviously I have it a little bit different, but I like Kaleb Johnson a lot. I have been personally harmed by Arthur Smith, so
that's fair. It's a fair.
And we talked about it. We talked about it offline before. I was like, look, man, I don't think like making bets on people in Arthur Smith offenses is just not where you want to be.
We've had Najee had 240 every year at least. So I think Kaleb walks right into that, right?
That's possible, but also Man, you're underestimating the level of bullshit that Arthur Smith will put.
Yeah, but I'm
on
saying
this
all the bullshit, and he's still and Najee was still touching it that many times and more. Whether you thought Najee should touch it that many times or not, I think you're going to get more explosives where Pittsburgh was not as explosive in the run game with Najee. Usually good in the 10-yard, but not in the 15 kind of breakaway stuff, which Kaleb Johnson, I know the 40 time wasn't good, but if you look at the GPS, if you watch this a million times, you're tired of me saying it. But he's faster than the 40 times said, and he can catch the ball. So
fair enough.
So, all right, let's go down to tier 3 here. I got Travion, I got RJ Harvey, I got Tyler Warren, I got Quinshawn Judkins, and I got Travis Hunter. What you got?
We've entered into the rage bait portion of the show where people will accuse us of clickbait. But my tier 3 is pretty small here.
If you've watched this show for any amount of time and you think I'm doing anything to clickbait you, boy, oh boy, have you misperceived what the hell is going on around here.
I've got a small tier 3, but it's Quinshawn, it's Travion, it's Travis Hunter.
All right, run that by me one more time.
I've got a small tier 3 right after. So following Tyler Warren, he closes out tier 2. I've got Quinshawn Judkins, Travion Henderson, and Travis Hunter.
All right. What's your next tier?
The next tier after that starts off with RJ Harvey, followed up by Jaxson Dart and Emeka Egbuka, closed out. Well, excuse me. Actually, this is a bigger tier. My bad. I was thinking that, I had the cursor in the wrong place. But anyway, let's start at the top. RJ Harvey, Jaxson Dart, Emeka Egbuka, Jaden Higgins, Kaleb Johnson, Colston Loveland.
All right. I want to go back real quick and we don't need to spend a whole lot of time on Travis Hunter, but why both of us have him lower. We've been this way through the whole process. At this point, we've got a little bit more information that leads a little bit towards our line of thinking. And some people have kind of tempered expectations a little bit. It has nothing to do with Travis Hunter's ability. I think he's great. And if he was playing offense for sure, full time, I would have him much higher. There's just everybody else around him is a really good player, and they're going to play offense 100% of the time. And I know kind of what their role is going to be and what they're going to be doing. And for Travis Hunter to be a two-side of the ball playing guy and still be a first-round pick in rookie drafts is incredible. It's incredible. So the fact I just can't risk throwing. I'll be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong here and coming back next year and saying, all right, I got to pay a little more for Travis Hunter. Or I can purchase him next year after things. Hey, I wasn't too wrong, but I do think he's really good, and his role will continue to grow on offense, and it'll get better and better as things go on. But I just think year one coming out, it might be a little bit of a disappointment. There's going to be some good highlights, but he just might not. I feel like I'm never going to know when I can use him, and that's not what I want to do with my first round pick right now. So that's why I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines a little bit. And I know you feel the same way. I just wanted to hit on that, and we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it and it take over the show. But
every single time for like a month and a half, we talked about Travis Hunter, and it turned into like a 30-minute discussion. So we're not going to do that today. But Casey just encapsulated everything that we've said about Travis Hunter for months now.
Right. All right. My next tier, my tier 4 is Colston Loveland, Emeka Egbuka, Luther Burden, Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins. So I had Warren and Loveland kind of together after that Hunter tier. I've since moved Warren up and really not moved Loveland down, just instead of having a solo tier, just grouped him in with that other tier. It's odd to me that we've heard so much about Luther Burden not playing, but nobody says anything about Loveland not playing, which is super weird. And I think it's, Loveland didn't have character issues. Burden had some people worried about character issues, and now you're like, well, he didn't sign his deal yet, and he's not, and he's already hurt. And it's just like, I don't know. It's weird that the press is going one way on Loveland, and maybe you didn't expect Loveland to play at all, but like that wasn't even a huge thing leading up to the draft. Nobody even really talked about it when they picked him. Like, oh, this guy might not play at all in the preseason. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a little weird there. I think Loveland's a good player, though. It's nothing, just wanted to point that out. I think the same thing that happened with Warren happened with Egbuka. It takes a while to digest things, and Egbuka has slowly climbed back up this board higher and higher every time I think about the situation and how good of a player he is and all these other things. So Egbuka by the time August rolls around, September, that last thing of rankings, Egbuka might have jumped up where Travis Hunter and Quinshon Judkins is. And I'd love to see Luther Burden jump up there as well. Just
need him on the field.
Right. Exactly. I think when he's on the field, the eye-opening plays will happen. I'll get more comfortable. Still really like Luther Burden, Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins, and I dropped Jaxson Dart down a little bit. Never has been my favorite. Again, I'll be wrong. He starts the next tier off for me. Is Dart and Golden in my next tier. Golden's fell down a little bit, and Dart has fallen down a little bit. Maybe Dart's going to be awesome. I'll still draft Jaxson Dart. You get into that turn on the first and the second, and you don't necessarily draft for need, quote unquote, in rookie drafts, but I think sometimes that can get a little overblown. Like sometimes you probably should draft for some need in a rookie draft. It doesn't need to control everything, but if I'm a little bit more quarterback needy, he probably moves up a little bit. And just the chance to get a Jaxson Dart, to be able to move on, to help use Jaxson Dart as a stepping stone to go somewhere else. I'm probably not that interested in keeping Jaxson Dart on my roster to see how that goes.
Right.
So I've kind of bumped him down a little bit. Again, could be dead wrong, but just was never my favorite quarterback coming out. Now, I think there's some good athleticism and a little bit of hidden legs there. I don't know. His decision making is something that I've got questions on, of just like the system that he came from and how he played. I don't think it translates the best to the professional level, if that makes sense. Like, whereas the reason I was really high on somebody like Michael Penix is because when I was watching him, he was doing professional shit out there every single week. Whereas Jaxson Dart makes good throws. I think he can do everything. I just don't know where the processing is for him. And somebody could be screaming the complete opposite. That's just how I feel about it.
So there's a lot. So the Ole Miss system itself isn't anywhere near known for producing pro style quarterbacks. The last guy that we really got steamed up was Matt Corral, and you can't tell me where. Yeah, exactly. And their numbers were strikingly similar.
I thought you were going to say Eli Manning. I was going to say correct.
No. I mean, Matt Corral was like a 3rd round pick of the Panthers back in the day. Right?
Get out of here.
And same system, same, all that good stuff. I don't dislike.
Did Matt Corral come from USC too?
Go ahead.
Did Matt Corral come from USC too?
I think so. So we got a little. Lane's using the private jet for whatever he's using it for, to go get those boys from USC and get them in the SEC country. But I think that this tier for me is just a lot of uncertainty. Obviously these guys are all very, very good players. You've heard me sing the praises of Jaden Higgins for quite some time. I like Kaleb Johnson a lot. If he comes back and he's like 1,200 yards from scrimmage this year and 8 touchdowns, and he gets 190 touches or 210 touches or whatever it is, I'll eat crow on this. But I'm firmly. Arthur Smith had us questioning Bijan's usage and what we do while we're trapped in the Arthur Smith Bermuda Triangle of nonsense. Mm-hmm. So I can't put it past him to do this same BS with a fully healthy Jaylen Warren. It is important to note that Jaylen Warren was hurt those first few weeks of camp, and then they just kind of rolled with Najee to the end. But yeah, and that tier for me is just a lot of uncertainty. I mean, Jaxson Dart's most likely he's going to play, and unless he really, really sucks, he's going to play at some point in 2025. And he's just completely not ready. But I mean, we're also talking about a guy who just didn't call snap counts in high school. He just clapped his hands. So, or in college. So yeah, it's just kind of gross, man. I don't love it.
All right. Hit me with your next tier.
So we close out tier 4 with Colston Loveland. We open up tier 5. Matthew Golden, Trey Harris, Elijah Arroyo, Luther Burden III closes out tier 5 for me.
All right. So we got all the same-ish players jumbled up a little bit different. What's your biggest? Did you have a riser coming in there, or has that one stayed kind of the same?
All these guys are guys that kind of fell down the process for me. Well, fell down due to landing spot, and then just reading the tea leaves and then having some more definitive and opinionated takes about guys who are potentially in their way. Elijah Arroyo kind of stuck around because I'm believing that they're going to use a ton more 12. But the question here is that him and Noah Fant have very, very similar mirroring skill sets, and Noah Fant's still on that roster. AJ Barner is more the traditional inline tight end, but we all know what Noah Fant is. I mean, if you played Madden for any period of time, you know he's one of the fastest tight ends on a game. He's 4-5 guy coming out of Iowa, and you've seen it at points in time. So I would love to have a little bit more clarity. I love the talent that is Elijah Arroyo, but right now, unless they're going to do what they said they're going to do out of the gate, and they say, hey, we're going to line them up all over the formation. We're going to use them like a chess piece. I just have reservations about what his route participation is going to be in year one and what that looks like from a target share perspective. And I just don't have a lot of clarity of situation, but I love the talent. But I don't love him. I don't love the talent so much that I can just bump him ahead of guys who I already have clarity on, who I already also like quite a bit.
Yeah.
If you're looking for more FFD, sign up for a Patreon or YouTube membership and get access to the ADP, Dynasty rankings, the rookie draft kit, and extra shows every week.
All right, well, that's a good way for me to jump in here for my tier 6. I got Arroyo, Kyle Williams, Besh, Tyler Shuck. And Arroyo, for me, really high tight end premium. I got Elijah Arroyo everywhere. And I just want to say, I've drafted Jaxson Dart in plenty of spots in the drafts that have happened. So I'm not anti-Dart by any means. I will take him. But Elijah Arroyo, you alluded to it. Look, I was a big Fant guy. Some injuries and other things have derailed the career a little bit. And I think Seattle knows what it is at this point with Fant. I'm sure he'll get out there. I'm sure there'll be some usage. I do think if Elijah Arroyo can be healthy and just show out a little bit through camp, he's going to get plenty of opportunity. I'm interested in the athleticism of Arroyo. I'm interested in potentially some chess piece. There's a lot of coach talk there, moving him around. But what you do have is you have somebody in Kubiak who's been touched with Shanahan, right? And the tight end can be a really, really important thing in that offense. And I think they just tried to find something that can mirror what kind of San Fran can do with Kittle, with Arroyo, right? So I think they're trying to figure that out. Maybe he's the guy, maybe he's not. I have a ton of Arroyo everywhere. I can't help drafting him. I love him in the middle of the second round. Tight end premium, this is what we're talking. So I'm pretty bullish on him. And he's one of my favorite players in this draft. And I really, really did like the landing spot. I think they were very deliberate with that choice there.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been as excited if Mason Taylor went there. I still would have liked it. But I just feel like the feature in this offense can be a tight end. And I think Elijah Arroyo can be a feature. So I'm willing to take the shot. And year one tight ends, if it pans out, it doesn't send me into panic mode either way, really. And we're in the middle of the second, so I'm okay with that. Then I got Kyle Williams, Besh, and Shuck's quarterback. I think he's going to get a chance to start. Will he be the starter? I don't know. Again, he's just, for me, if I need a 3 or I'm really hurting for a quarterback, I'll take Shuck, and I'm trying to use him as a stepping stone to get somewhere else. That's really the utility I see of Shuck. So what's your tier 6 here, Chev?
So we closed tier 5 out with Luther Burden. We opened tier 6 up with Jalen Noel, Kyle Williams, Harold Fannin Jr., Mason Taylor, and then we closed that out with Jalen Milroe.
I like it.
I love both of the Iowa State wide receivers, and you can create a role for Jalen Noel. That rhymed. I didn't mean to do that, but you can create a role for Jalen Noel based on the vacated targets of Tank Dell or Stephon Diggs. He profiles more as a slot. That's what we have him. That's what we all kind of see for him, but also he does have the vertical field stretching ability and the athleticism that you would like to see to be able to do a little bit more. So he might not just be a slot receiver, but regardless, he's in a crowded place for targets, so he's a little bit lower. If we could go and walk him into 120 targets like we had with Ladd McConkey, I'd probably have him a lot higher. He'd probably be going a lot higher in rookie drafts. But We don't have that clarity, so he's a little bit lower for me, but I'm in on the talent, so I wanted to make sure we talked about him. And then we go Kyle Williams. I mean, that clip of us talking about, or me talking him up, and then being told that it was terrible process to select Kyle Williams, only for him to become one of the biggest risers of the draft. We love Kyle Williams. We love that landing spot. I think that him and Drake May are going to be able to do some special stuff whenever he becomes a full-time player. Same thing for Harold Fannin. And then I don't like Mason Taylor, but tight end premium, it's bad process to just have somebody like this just way down there. You want tight ends who could be the second option potentially in a passing offense, and that's what Mason Taylor represents. So I'm cool with it here. I don't love it, but again, if he's available a little bit later, and then I don't love the options, I don't have any of these other players I have ahead of him available to me in the end of the second round, or even the beginning of the third, I'll click the button. And then Jalen Milroe, to be honest, to me, he just represents Justin Fields-esque upside if he's able to get on the field. I just don't. I mean, I'm not going to say Lamar because that's a cliche thing to do. Like, I don't think Jalen Milroe is ever going to play MVP football, but who knows? He could. The last third-round pick, I know people are throwing that trope around now. The last third-round pick the Seahawks selected at quarterback was pretty good.
It's Russell Wilson. Had just signed Matt Flynn, same kind of thing. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Milroe's really interesting. The backup quarterback, especially with a skill set like Milroe's, always the most interesting guy in town, right? And so it's interesting that they took him. I liked Milroe. I can't get a lot of the bad Milroe out of my head. Yes. I don't think the system that Alabama was running was what Milroe would thrive the best in. I think something like they're doing right now is probably in Seattle is better for what Milroe was doing. Alabama had just switched over into a whole new system of what they were doing. And we mentioned Michael Penix already. Well, his head coach, Kalen DeBoer, came over. He wants a pocket passer, right? That's what he wants. He wants accuracy. He wants the ball to go where it's supposed to go, how they draw it. Now you got Ryan Grubb coming back over there. You got DeBoer and Grubb. Alabama, I think, unfortunately, for everybody who hates Alabama, is probably going to be a problem for a while because I think both of those guys are good offensive coaches, right? And I don't think it did Milroe a ton of favors to be in that system, but he was too good for them to just put somebody else in there, right? He gave them a chance to win, and he had really good points in the season. I don't think that was the best match for either side for his last year of college production. I don't mind this Kubiak system for him to sit, but I think he should sit and learn from Sam Darnold, who's been in Shanahan and now Kubiak. I think it'll be good for him to sit there and just kind of see how all this works, see how this system kind of goes, where the ball's supposed to go, how he can operate. And really the biggest thing we've kind of never seen from the Shanahan is that fourth wall of a rushing quarterback. And oh my God, if you had to defend the rushing quarterback and what they do, it would be a nightmare, right? Mm-hmm. Like we've never quite seen it, the code get fully cracked on that. So Milroe could be interesting. My last tier is Terrace Ferguson, Mason Taylor, Jalen Milroe, and Cam Scatterbo. That gets us to 25. So did you get you in? You good? You got 24?
Yeah, I got 24. We're locked in at 24. Cam Scatterbo is at 25 for me. I didn't want to.
Both of us would be lower on Scatterbo, right?
Yeah.
And not even lower on Scatterbo. I think both of us like Scatterbo, right?
We just don't want to throw Tyrone Tracy in the trash.
Right. We love our Anglo assassin brother.
Anglo-Saxon assassin.
But I think Tyrone Tracy is really good. I think some of their skill sets are a little redundant. I think Scatterbo is a good receiver. I think Tracy's a good receiver. But then, I do think maybe some short yardage stuff could seed to Scatterbo. Dayball could just be like, hey, I want to prove that I was right drafting this guy and use the shit out of him. I think something's going to have to happen to Tracy for that to really be the case, or him fumble it away, right? Mm-hmm. We've kind of talked about that with a couple different guys. But I think Tyrone Tracy hangs on to this. I think Tyrone Tracy was really, really productive. I guess good for them for drafting another guy, but y'all needed so much more shit, and you took. I'm not saying you wasted your 4th round pick. He could be awesome. I hope he is. He's a lot of fun to watch, and he just keeps defying the odds of not being the craziest, most athletic guy available. But you could have done something else with that and just rolled with Singletary and Tyrone Tracy again.
My goodness. Yeah.
But
it's like y'all are acting like you're not on borrowed time after this
Right.
whole Saquon and then just being terrible debacle.
Right. And the confidence for a lot of people to just be like, oh, he's marching in and being the RB1 there, I think is crazy. I think he could be good. He could be awesome. I hope that year one that they do find roles for him and usage, and maybe he just comes in and it does take it over. And this is way too low for Scatabo in that regard then. But like, I'd like to see them have both of those guys on the field at the same time, do different things with them, get them out of the backfield, use Scatabo as like a fullback kind of situation. I've mentioned use check a little bit, like move him around, do different things with him. And then, hey, sometimes it's just his series, give him the ball as the H-back, right? So that's kind of how I would envision that kind of moving forward in year one. But I could be completely wrong. Anyway, you got anything else before we wrap this up?
No, we hit it. You hit it on the screws this time.
Yeah, man. Look, we've done a bunch of rookie rankings, rookie mocks, rookie this, that, and the other. So we've said a whole bunch of things about all these guys. Try not to repeat a ton of it. We're in the doldrums of the season right now in July, in the middle of July. So soon we'll get all sorts of little tasty morsels to have a little bit more fun with these rankings. But right now they're a little stale. But we had some movement. We had some movement today, right?
Yeah, there was some definite movement in my lower half. I mean, the back half of the first round.
In my pants. All right. Chev, where can we find the rest of your wonderful work?
It's on the Twitter X first. Go follow me, Chev90. There's a link tree, Quantum of Chevis. Go check that out. Download the League Champ app in the Google Play Store and the App Store.
Make sure you check it out. Download that League Champ app. There's no reason you're not doing it. You can chance to win real money, right?
Yep.
Just
sweepstakes. It is a sweepstakes, which is legal in all 50 states. So,
of course,
if you want a chance to win some free money, get with us. If you have questions about usage or anything, just come holler at me. You know where to find me.
We'll speed that talk up in post so it sounds like one of those end of commercial things. All right, guys, we appreciate you joining us. Till next time, we're the FFD. Peace.